secret list. Last year I made a secret list of houses on our street that gave out all the very best treats I like to eat. I made a separate list of those that gave out candy bars and those that let us pick right from their giant candy jars. I marked off all the houses that gave raisins in a box and those that gave just one small piece of gum that's hard as a rock. My little sister laughs at me, but I don't think she's funny, 'cause she won't let me see her list of houses that gave money.
What to wear on Halloween. Last year I went as Frankenstein, the year before a ghost. This year I'd like to go as what we kids all fear the most. I searched through the stores all over town for one old scary ghoul, but none have masks that look just like our principal at school.
Costume crazy. The year I dressed up as a witch, my ugly wig began to itch. The year I dressed up as a clown, my silly nose kept falling down. The year I dressed up as a ghost, I tripped and fell and hit a post. This year I know just what I'll be. I'm dressing up to go as me.
Happy Halloween! I'd rather be foolish than ghoulish. I'd rather dress up as a clown. I'd rather wear clothes with polka dot bows. I'd much rather smile than frown. I'd rather be kooky than spooky. I'd rather be friendly than mean. I'd rather go greeting than tricking and treating. I'd rather have fun Halloween.
Dear Frankenstein, you walk stiff-legged like a man who came back from the dead. You wear a bolt right through your neck to hold your giant head. I wonder if you'd like to look the way us humans do, or do you think we are cool when we dress up like you?
My sister's afraid of Halloween. My sister had to go with us last year to trick-or-treat. My mom told me I had to wait and help her cross the street. She wore a little furry suit with whiskers and a tail. To carry all her treats, she brought an orange pumpkin pail. She wouldn't let go of my hand. She stayed right by my side. Every time some kid yelled, "Boo!" she tried to run and hide. My sister's scared of everything, especially at night. Each time she saw her shadow, she squeezed my hand real tight. Her little kitten suit was cute, I have to give her that. But every time she tried to hide, I called her scaredy cat.
The candy check. Parents say the candy check is something they must do. They have to search for anything that might be bad for you. Although they never find a thing, despite this careful chore, it's funny how the bag comes back much lighter than before.
Slumber Party Surprise. We sat around the living room and turned out every light, then started telling stories that would keep us up all night. We passed around a flashlight as we told our favorite tale. The room was filled with shadows, and each face grew gray and pale. Then after every ghostly yarn, we searched around the room to see if zombies hid within the dark and dreary gloom. We searched behind the sofa, and we checked beneath each chair to make sure nothing drifted in upon the midnight air. The longer that we stayed awake, the darker things became. Our flashlight faded in the night and closed our ghostly game. A chilling hush fell over us as right before our eyes appeared a most appalling sight that caught us by surprise. A shadow drifted down the stairs, appearing pale and calm, but when it shouted, "Go to bed!" I knew that it was Mom.
Beware the werewolf. Gray clouds creep across the sky. The sun hides out of sight. Something's crawling through the mist and heading here tonight. The wailing through the woods and peering through the trees. It's coming after all of us upon an autumn breeze. It wears a shroud of shadows. It's darkness every door. It's on its way to our house now and bringing gloom and gore. Beware of where you're going, beware of where you play, beware of the werewolves Everywhere Halloween is on its way.
My very own monster pet. I would like a monster pet, the kind that children never get. Something mean and extra large that likes to bite or squeeze or charge. A King Kong kind of chimpanzee, a snake the size of Tennessee, a 2-ton kicking kangaroo, a rhino bigger than a zoo, a grizzly bear with sharpened claws, a wild boar with giant jaws, a porcupine with poison quills, a tiger shark with razor gills, an armadillo made of steel, a nuclear electric eel. That's what I wish that I could get, a vicious, wild monster pet. But if I can't have one of these, no dogs or cats or goldfish, please, I'll take the pet I most adore. I'll settle for a dinosaur.
Pumpkin Patch. We drove out to the pumpkin patch to see what we could find, but soon we found that each of us had something else in mind. My mom said, pick a shiny one that's ripe and rather round. My dad said, pick the biggest one that we have ever found. My sister shouted, pick the one that's fatter than the rest. But I knew if we looked around, we'd find which one was best. We came upon a little one that sat there all alone, looking like she needed us to please just take her home. My parents said she was too small, her color was not right. But when they saw me holding her, they took her home that night. They placed her on the tabletop and asked us to decide who would cut the eyes and mouth and who would scoop inside. They handed me the carving knife, but I just shook my head. I couldn't bear to cut her up, no matter what they said. And so she sits, just as she was, upon the windowsill. Instead of jack-o'-lantern now, this year we have a Jill.
Pumpkins on guard. Look at all the pumpkin faces lighting up so many places. On the porch and in the yard, pumpkin faces standing guard. Looking friendly, looking mean, with a smile or with a scream. Orange faces burning bright in the cool October night.
A ghostly night. Cats and bats and witches' hats, the color of spilled ink. Jack-o'-lanterns at each door, I think I saw one wink. Echoes bounce from house to house in waves of trick-or-treat, as distant sounds of barking dogs come drifting down the street. An owl questions who we are, these strangers in the night, all dressed up in eerie clothes beneath the pale moonlight. A skeleton goes running by, beside a fairy queen. What is this happy, haunted night? It must be Halloween.
Gargoyles. As still as stones, they sit and stare, to scare you with their ghoulish glare. If you should ever pass one by, don't look them in the eye. Especially for heaven's sakes, beware the one whose hair is snakes.
The two-headed ghoul. It has 2 heads with 4 big feet. It's coming down from up the street. It has 2 mouths with 4 big ears. There's nothing that it ever fears. It laughs each time it calls our name. We're caught inside its nightmare game. It's getting close, don't make it mad. Here it comes, it's Mom and Dad.
The haunted house. The haunted house is such a scream because tonight is Halloween. The creaking door is open wide, and so we slowly peek inside. We tiptoe in and hold our breath because we're really scared to death. 2 mummies greet us at the door, or maybe 3, or was it 4? They lead us to the living room through smoky clouds of dewy doom. Then down a hall where spiders spin 3 giant webs to catch us in. Lost among the mournful maze, we wander through this haunted haze. We climb some stairs into a place where eyes float by without a face. And then a witch with eyes aglow grabs us as we start to go. She holds us back and with a shout, "I've got you now, there's no way out." We hear our hearts pound in our ears while fighting back a flood of tears. We break away and then we hide and wish that we had stayed outside. Then suddenly, across the floor, a flash of light leads to a door. A pumpkin shines its candlelight. and points the way back to the night. Then, once outside, we start to grin, 'cause now we want to go back in.
The Scary Dictionary. The biggest book you'll ever see hides deep inside the library. It sits upon an antique stand waiting for your trembling hand. Don't be afraid, don't try to hide. Just open it and look inside. But watch out for those scary words that jump out at you like frightened birds. Words like crawly, creepy crud that make your thumping heart go thud. Words like fear and Frankenstein that send cold shivers up your spine. Words like ghastly, ghost, and ghoul that make your red-hot blood run cold. Words like scary, screech and scream that give you nightmares when you dream. Words like werewolf, warlock, and witch that make your nerves begin to twitch. Beware that awful burning need to look inside and start to read, 'cause every word that's mean and scary is found inside the dictionary.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween when witches scream, when owls hoo, and goblins boo. It's trick or treat out in the street when werewolves howl and gargoyles growl. It's time to scare when monsters stare and we all swear there's nothing there.
Which way? With warts on her nose and sharp pointy toes, she flew through the night on her broom. With covers pulled tight, in the shadow of night, I hide in the dark of my room.
Secret treat. I got a lot of treats tonight, and I just ate them all. From candy bars to bubble gum, my taste buds had a ball. But now my stomach's doing flips, or what a Halloween. The biggest trick for all the streets, I'm slowly turning green.
I'm Not Afraid by Charles Guigna. Thank you for the water and the extra goodnight kiss. I know it's getting late, but first I have to tell you this. I'm not afraid of scary things that dance out in the dark. I'm not afraid of mournful sounds that make the dogs all bark. I'm not afraid of closet doors when they are open wide. I'm not afraid of drapes and shades where shadows like to hide. I'm not afraid of ghosts and ghouls that haunt each Halloween. I'm not afraid of anything that I have never seen. I'm not afraid of creaking steps or gurgles in the sink. I'm not afraid of basement groans. At least that's what I think. I'm not afraid of all those things that bump or growl at night. I'm not afraid of anything. But please leave on the light.